Shalom Israel, it's your brother Marcus G, back with yet another Truth for Thought. First and foremost, I must give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. I must give all honor, praises, and glory to the Most High. And we're going to just jump right into this. This particular Truth for Thought actually was very befitting, as over the last couple of weeks, I've been doing Truth for Thoughts that have been pretty much identifying certain people in the Bible. I did one with who are we in regards to, well, it was called Simple Answers to Hard Questions, which was in regards to Israel and Israelites and who they are. I did a Truth for Thought in regard with the title of Not Racist, Just Chosen. I also did a Truth for Thought in regards to the Amalekites, which you'll see Amalek again today. And it was only befitting that I did this. Not only that, I also witnessed a conversation, a dialogue between two Israelites, and there was a misunderstanding. And to me, I don't understand how there is this misunderstanding, but obviously there is the understanding that Esau or Edom is understood to be Arabians or the Arabic man, who in actuality is biblically known as Ishmael or an Ishmaelite. So I found it only befitting to clarify as to exactly who Esau or Edom is. Now, of course, as always, I want to start by building the base. So we're going to go straight to the Bible, and we're going to start in Malachi. I'm going to start in Malachi because, of course, like I said, I want to build a base. So we're going to go to Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. And it reads, "For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." This is very, very integral in that it's the Most High proclaiming he never, ever changes. He never has, he never will. He will always be the same for forever. All right. I want to go from there, and I want to go to 1 Corinthians 14 and 33. So we're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. I've used these verses before when setting a base, as there are always good scriptures for setting a basis for things before actually diving into these things. So 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33, "For God is not the author of confusion." Now that same, the Most High, who never changes, is being proclaimed, is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Now, that further substantiates that he never changes, because it will be the same consistently, no matter where you look in the Bible. Now, I do have a kind of like a plan about how I'm going to go about this. We're going to start by going into Genesis, because we got to get some background information all the way from the conception of Esau. We're going to get his genealogy. We're going to get a number of things about Esau. Okay. I'm then going to go and I'm going to look at some of the prophets and what were revealed to them about certain kingdoms. And when I say kingdoms, I mean rulerships throughout time here on earth, all in the Bible. To do so, I'm going to be utilizing Daniel. I'm going to also be utilizing the revelation from John the Revelator in Revelations. I'm going to be using Daniel from probably Daniel 7. And I'm going to also touch on Ezra. Okay, in second Esdras. So as you see, we're going to be all over the Bible. But as you will also see, there will not be any confusion about it. The Most High is never going to change. It's going to be the same thing every time. Now, let's go from there and go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 21. Another staple scripture which reads, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Now, because the Most High never changes, and because he's not the author of confusion, it will be proven on numerous accounts as to who Esau is. Because of all three of those, and I'm talking about scripturally, it will be proven, and that is my aim, that unequivocally it will be understood exactly who Esau or Edom is. All right. So let's jump right into it. Like I said, we're going to start in Genesis. We're going to start at the conception of Esau. All right. So we're going to start in Genesis. We're going to go to chapter 25, and we're going to get verses 21 through 34. I'm going to try to go through this as expeditiously as possible, as I do not want to hold you all very long for this. Because outside of the things that I said, as far as my little plan for this particular truth for thought, I also want to get an account that's going to further substantiate who these people are, who this biblical nationality of Esau or Edom is. All right. So without further ado, Genesis 25, verse 21, and it reads, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Now, what this says is, the breakdown of this is, Isaac went to the Most High because it appeared as if his wife, Rebekah, was unable to bear children. So he went to the Most High heard him, and now she has conceived. She is not barren. She actually has conceived child. I'll say that. Although I know that's not the actual case, we'll just say she has conceived child. Verse 22, and the children. So not only has she conceived child, she obviously has conceived more than one. Children is plural for child. The children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So what's going on? There's multiple children. She has multiple children, 2 to be exact. And they are going at it right there in the womb. They going at it. They kicking, not just kicking at each other. They throwing blows at each other. All of this is going on in the womb. And she's like, wait a minute. Why is it like this? I never fathomed that being pregnant would be like this. So she went to speak with the Most High. Verse 23, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations, that is integral. The word nations, that's plural. 2 nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people. Again, you see here, there is a definitive that's being said that these twins, these two are very different, shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. If you notice here, the Most High has already proclaimed, he's already chosen one of these two children. It is evident already right here, the Most High, because this is, and the Lord said unto her, as you see at the beginning. The Most High is already saying the elder is going to serve the younger. He will be subservient. The elder will be subservient to the younger. Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, when she went full term, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, not to be mistaken with a word that you can read in the Bible known as ruddy. It literally says, the first came out red, all over, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. Here we see the very first depiction of Esau. I'm going to repeat it. Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red, all over, like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau, let's listen to some things about Esau. Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was just a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. So Isaac loved Esau because when he go out and hunt, he'd go and he'd kill these extravagant beasts and cook them. And Isaac loved to eat these things. But Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sowed pottage. And Esau came from the field and he was faint. So Jacob made some pottage. And Esau had come from the field and he was hungry. He was hungry. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Uh-oh. Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same, listen to this word, red pottage, for I am faint, for I am hungry. Therefore was his name called Edom. Now I'm going to give you a little etymology about Edom, right? And you can feel free to research this on your own. Edom came from the word Odom, which means red. The root word comes from the word dam, which means blood. All right. Their blood, Edom or Esau's blood, literally protrudes through the skin due to the lack of melanin. It is often referred to as Edom or Esau's blood shows forth. Okay? But here you see that Esau is called Edom. Keep that in mind. That in mind. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Oh, Esau, Edom, comes from the field. He's hungry. And Jacob has made a red pottage. Esau or Edom says, feed me, for I'm hungry. Feed me some of that red pottage you made right there. Jacob's response was, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. He's literally saying, I'm starving to death. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? Now, I want to stop. This very integral. Because in actuality, a birthright is a covenant. But here, as early as here, you see that Esau or Edom has very little to any regard with anything in regards to the Most High. Because again, a birthright is a covenant. I'm going to prove that. So he has very little regards for his birthright. So let's go to verse 33. And Jacob says, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him that he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised. Now, this is not a word that I'm picking to use. This is the Bible. Thus Esau despised his birthright, despised his covenant. Esau has always despised the Most High and things of the Most High. I'll prove it. Now, I know I haven't really gotten into who Esau is. I have to a little bit of degree, but let's look at some things, okay? For instance, Genesis tells you that the world was created by the Most High, right? Esau or Edom will say it was all science. That's a total disposition of the Most High's work. He has always been that way and will always be that way, okay? And that's just one thing, because I'm going to get an account, right, a little later that's going to further prove it. But remember that this is being said by the Bible. Esau despised his birthright, which was a covenant of the Most High. He despised it. He sold it, gave it away. It was nothing to him. He literally said, because I'm so hungry, this birthright means nothing. It can't do nothing for me. All the way back then. Okay. So now let's jump 2 chapters over. We're going to go to Genesis 27, and we're going to read verses 37 through 41. All right. This is some other things about Esau. Okay. So we'll definitely be able to depict who exactly Esau and Edom is. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. This dialect is in regards to the fact that Isaac has given his blessing to Jacob. Esau comes and basically is asking, what about me? Okay. So let me start back over. Genesis 27:37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Now I want you to remember, back in Genesis 25, the Most High had already said, the elder shall serve the younger. Well, here you see that has been made good. As Isaac literally tells Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, meaning over you. Okay, let's keep going. Verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So he started being a Karen. Imagine that. It's no irony or coincidence that they do that today. But I want to further prove who they are. Okay. So he starts lifting up his voice and weeping. Him, me too. I want something too. Okay. Verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold. I want you to really pay attention to what Isaac is about to say to Esau. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Those two verses are very key and integral in knowing who Esau and Edom is today. So, Isaac says, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, meaning you will have the best of all the things of the world. You'll run some things. You'll run a lot of things. Your sword, you will be a man of war. Your sword, you're going to live by that. But he did not negate to mention, but you will serve your brother. That will happen. And it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have the dominion, remember that word, dominion. I'm telling you now, that's a key word. So what people right now today have the best of everything? I'm sorry, it's not the Arab man. No. It's not the so-called Chinese or Japanese man. It's not the African man. And all these people have a biblical nationality. And I'll even go and say them. It's not Ishmael or Ishmaelites. It's not Moabites or Ammonites. It's not Canaanites or Hamites. It's not any of them. It's Edomites. Right now, that red man has the best of everything. If you look over the world, It's only 7 continents in the world, right? 6 of those 7 continents right now, guess who has dominion over them? Guess what walk of life? This red man. He ain't got none over in Asia. He don't run a damn thing over in Asia. Europe, Africa, even Antarctica, via a bill, a declarative bill. So Esau has dominion over that. Africa right now. Who literally has dominion over Africa? Who runs Africa? It's not the Hamites or the Canaanites. That's their land. They don't run that. I want to go from there. I want to go to Genesis chapter 36. Because the picture is getting painted clearer and clearer as we're going. Genesis chapter 36, we're going to get verses 1 through 19, because now I want to get the genealogy of Esau. Remember, I said you'll see Amalek again. The Jewish people, that's Amalek. Guess what their genealogy is? And I went over this, but I'm going to go over it again now, as it is applicable for this lesson. Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Notice, again, we read this back in Genesis 27. When he sold his birthright, it even said, when he wanted that red pottage, because of this, he was called Edom. Here, you clearly see Esau. Who is Edom? Again, I would say the Most High never changes. He is not the author of confusion. It's the same, right? And this has been easy to prove thus far, simply because of those two things. This has been easy to prove these things, all right? Now, these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Bashema, Ishmael's daughter. That's that Arabian man, Ishmael. And Bashema, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashema bare Reuel. And Aholibamah bare Jeush. It's real close to a word that I've used before, which is Jewish. It's extremely close, but it's not the same. Jeush and Jalam and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born to him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the persons of his house and his cattle and all his beasts and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan. How do you get things? Remember, this is a man who will live by his sword. This is a people that will live by their sword. They will be people of war, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. And we're going to touch on why that is and why it's worded in that way, because it's worded from the face of his brother Jacob. Sounds like, or it's apparent of having a despising type of mentality in regards to his brother Jacob when speaking of Esau. But we're going to see how true it is that very well might be the case, okay? For their riches were more than they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Wait a minute. Their riches, way back in Genesis 27, said, you will dwell the fatness. You will the best of all riches. It's the same. It's the same people. Most High hadn't changed in his word. This has not been any confusion in it. This is lining up no matter where we go so far. Okay, let's keep going. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. The Bible then reiterates again, as it did at the beginning of this chapter, Esau is Edom. No irony or coincidence in this. We've read in 3 places where Esau is called Edom. We read it way back in Genesis 25. We read it in Genesis 27. We're reading it again here in Genesis 36. No confusion about it. The same all the way through. Hasn't changed. Thus, the Most High is not the author of confusion. How this gets misunderstood, I know not. It literally told you that one of the wives of Esau was an Ishmaelite. So Ishmael cannot be Edom or Esau. It's impossible. It's impossible for the Arabian man who is Ishmael to be the red man who is Esau or Edom. That's impossible. It's impossible. Someone would have to be wrong. My question would be, are you willing to say that the Most High's word is wrong? Let's keep going. Verse 9, and these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. Remember that Mount Seir as well. That's he as well. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Bashima, the wife of Esau. And the son of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatan, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. I told you Amalek was going to come up. Amalek is of Edom. Amalek is a tribe of Edom. Let's keep going, because that's not the only place you're going to see about Amalek. You're going to also see about the Dukes. We're going to get to it. I'm going to go ahead and keep on and push on through it. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reuel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anab, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jeush, and Jalam, and Korah. These were the dukes of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Taman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gotham, and Duke Amalek. Get around this Bible. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adah. And these are the sons of Reu, Esau's son. Duke Nahath, Duke Zorah, Duke Shema, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Raul in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashemas, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. Yet again, you read here, Esau is Edom. The same red people despised the Most High way back when. Anything that has to do with the Most High, I promise you, Esau has always hated it. Always. That has never changed. Esau has always wanted something for them. Why, Israel, do you think that Christianity, which was started by red people, says, I want to be included too? Just like when Esau went to Isaac and said, what about me? You got to include me. What about me? These are the same people. Same people. I'm going to prove it. Because those same people started what you know as Christianity, right? Christianity they wanted so bad to be included. They said, you got to include us. We got to include everybody. That way we know we're included, right? But we're going to go over an account over what is actually commemorated as a day in Christianity. And I promise you, you've probably been in Christianity. You didn't even know this. We're going to go over that. It's going to show the despise. Just like we read back in Genesis 37, the despise that Esau had, especially, or has when it comes to the Most High. I'm going to prove it. Okay? Let's keep reading. These are the sons of Esau. Genesis 36 and 19 was where I left off. I'm going to repeat it. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horites, who inhabit the land Lotan and Shabal and Zibeon and Anah, and Dishan and Ezer and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. Now, initially in Mount Seir, that was actually the dwelling of the Horites. But because this man of war, these Edomites, as we read up earlier, because of all their riches and their cattle, when he took his face away from the face of Jacob, they had to go somewhere. So they went and they actually conquered the Horites. They did exactly what they are and what they do. And that's how they dwelt in Mount Seir. Okay? These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land. Lotan and Shabal and Zibeon and Anah and Dishan and Ezer and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of the Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Heman, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shabal were these, Alvin and Manahath and Ebal, Shepho and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed the asses of Zibeon, his father. And the children of Anah were these, Dishan and Holibama, the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishan, Hemdan and Ashburn and Ithran and Sharon. I want to go back up to verse 25. Holibama. You see that what was happening was Esau was conquering these places and making these women, and they were beginning to mix their seed because these were Horites, okay? And we read about Holibama, the daughter of Anah, way up earlier when we were talking about the initial sons of Esau. These conquering people, these red people, conquered the Horites, right? This was a Horite. Holibama, the daughter of Anah, was a Horite. Conquered her, and this is where you see what people term today race mixing, whitewashing. This was what they were doing. They've always done this. Now, you got to bear in mind, this is way back in Genesis. This is in BC time. Esau was always this way. Those people have not changed. Let me keep going. Which is why people will say they still whitewashing things today. They are. It is what they do. They've always wept and wanted to be included all the time. Always have, way back in Genesis up to now. That is what they do. They created a religion that says just that. We're going to be included. Forget what the Most High said. No, this is what it's going to be. This is what we want everybody. We're going to make everybody learn this. That is what they do. They've always done that. Okay? Let me keep going. Verse 26, and these are the children of Dishan, Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ithran, and Sharon. The children of Ezer are these, Bilhan, and Zavan, and Akan. The children of Dishan are these, Uz and Aran. These are the dukes that came of the Horites, again, because they initially were the dwellers. They were literally called the cave dwellers. The Horites were. They were the initial inhabitants of Mount Seir, but along came Edom and Esau, conquered it, and because they conquered it, and they are what you are what your father is. Now they have dukes that come out of this account. Let's get it. These are the dukes that came of the Horites: Duke Lotan, Duke Shabal, Duke Zibeon, and Duke Anah, Duke Dishan, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori, among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reign in the land of Edom before they reigned any king over the children of Israel. Remember back, and this is integral. This is a very key verse. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. Now, I want to revert back And I told you to remember a word known as dominion. Remember that. We're about to start getting into where Esau or Edom has or had and has continued to have it, dominion. Right? Verse 32, and Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of the city was Dinhabah. And Bela died. And Joab, the son of Zerah of Bazar, reigned in his stead, and Jobab died. And Husham of the land of Tamani reigned in his stead, and Husham died. And Hadad, the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah, Masrekah, reigned in his stead, and Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. So you see a very in-depth lineage of Esau, Edom, all the way from when they were in Canaan, all the way up until they conquered. Now they were conquering and doing stuff in Canaan. That's how they had acquired all these riches, all this cattle and stuff that was mentioned, that was aforementioned. So they moved to Mount Seir, conquer it from the Horites, and there they pretty much just stayed there for a minute. All right, but this was their lineage. Okay, so now this was definitely Mount Seir, right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35. Ezekiel chapter 35. We're going to get verses 4 through 15. Actually, we can get 1 through 15. We're going to get this whole chapter. Very integral in who these people are. Okay? Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Who dwells in Mount Seir at this particular point in time? Because we read about when they first got there, way back in Genesis. So who are these people? It is that red man. It is that red man. Let's keep going. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, on Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee desolate. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Why is the Most High saying you will know that I am the Lord? Just a quick question. I'll tell you. Because these same people has always despised and not held the Most High to the standard he should have always been held by. These same people, the father of this people had such little regard for the Most High, he sold his birthright simply because he was hungry. Totally despises the Most High. Let's keep going. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, on Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. This further substantiates these are the same people. Thou hast had a perpetual perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. He hated his brother. He hated Jacob, who is the forefather of Israel, the children of Israel. In fact, Jacob's name got changed to Israel. He hated him all the way. He despised Jacob all the way back then, which is why he wanted to be away from the face of Jacob. Let's keep going. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Meaning, remember, Isaac said way back in Genesis 27, you will live by your sword. Blood will be nothing for you. Have no problem with shedding blood. Let me keep going. Same people, same red man. Keep going. Verse 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir the dwelling of Esau, who is Edom, which we read 2 or 3 times back in Genesis 36 when we were going over the lineage. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountain, Esau, Edom's mountain, with his slain men in thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. The Most High is pissed. This man has such despise for me. So yes, he is definitely an enemy of the Most High. Definitely the enemy of the Most High's chosen people. Let's keep going. Because thou hast said, these 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Lord was there. Esau started messing with the Most High's chosen. Esau did what Esau does. You see, the Most High even said, because thou hast said. Because Esau has said, these 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine. Listen, Esau said, again, in their man-made religion, they said everybody can inherit the kingdom. That ain't true. They said that because they despised the Most High, and what the Most High said is, no, salvation is but for one walk of life. Now, it is true that Jacob, Israel, is a rebellious people, but Israel has never done that. Israel has never despised the Most High in such a manner, which is why you can read, lest there be any man more profane as Esau, who for a morsel of meat sold his covenant. Where you see birthright, you might as well just put the word covenant. Let me keep going. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will do according to thine anger and according to thine envy. Remember I said about the despise of Jacob? He envied Jacob way back in Genesis. He envied them. Which is why when Isaac gave the blessing to Jacob out of envy, out of hatred, he said, even me, Father, you got to have a blessing for me. These are the same people, the same red people. Verse 11, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, Israel and Jacob. And I will make myself known among them, and I have judged thee. Here you see it is proclaimed, the Most High he's proclaiming, you are an enemy of mine, I am an enemy of yours. You are an enemy of my chosen, and they are an enemy of yours. That is what that says. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. I'm going to tell you, when I did the Amalekites, I'm going to tell you another thing that shows their blasphemies. Revelations 2 and 9 and Revelations 3 and 9. Again, I say Amalek is of Esau, of Edom. The Jewish, and their blasphemous claim of being the chosen. Oh, no, no, no. The Most High again he's recalling these blasphemies. Blasphemy is a lie, definitely. That's why in Revelations 2 and 9, Revelations 3 and 9, they say they are Jews but are not, or they say they are no Jews but are not and do lie. That's blasphemous. These are the same red people. Let me keep going. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given on us to consume. Basically, Jacob was only born. This is Esau's mind frame. Jacob was only born to be my entertainment, for me to consume them. They are to be underneath me. But the whole time it said that the elder would serve the younger. Isaac even tells Esau, I have made him thy Lord. But Esau hated that. He envied Jacob. He hated that the blessing of the Most High was given to Jacob. He despised Jacob. He despised the Most High. Always has, always will. That's never going to change. Never. There should not be any confusion about it. Let me keep going. Thus, with your mouth, ye have boasted against me again. It's my understanding per Genesis that the Most High created the world. All the way from light and darkness. From darkness and light. I'm going to say it in that particular order as it is written in that order. All the way from darkness to light. When he said, let there be light. However, Esau, Edom, they came up with something else. They came up with shit like the Big Bang. I don't see that shit written nowhere in the Bible. Please show me the Big Bang Theory in the Bible. I have been waiting patiently for someone to show me this thing that they keep proclaiming is the way that the earth and everything in it was created, as opposed to that which I read in Genesis, which gives a very detailed description, even up to what was created in what day, all the way up to the Sabbath day. If I hadn't said it already, Shabbat Shalom Israel. But Esau will boast against the Most High and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. The Most High is letting them know. Oh, I heard, and I ain't forgot. Oh, your blood did you know your daddy told you you live by that sword. All this blood you shed, I saw. I haven't forgotten. This red man, you that big and bold, I want you to understand the Most High has said he has not forgotten. You ain't that big bad about. Let me keep going. Thus saith the Lord God, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance at the house of Israel, because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it. And they shall know that I am the Lord. So it's obvious here. Esau, Edom, Idumea, those can all be used interchangeably. It has very little to no regard of the Most High. They will actually, Edom or Esau, will do that which even Yahweh said to the deceiver is not to do. When you do not tempt the Most High, you don't, no. You don't tempt him. When the deceiver took Yahweh up on the mountain one of the 3 times and said, surely if you jump off of here, you can call for some angels if you be he that you say you are. And the angels will save you and not let you hit the ground and die. Yahweh's response, you shouldn't tempt my father. Not even me. I shouldn't tempt my father like that. No. But Esau, Esau again. The Most High makes it very clear who created what in Genesis. Esau will look straight up to the sky and say, no, you didn't create anything. In fact, the Big Bang Theory did this. It's always been Esau. Always will be Esau. Again, I'm going to show you an account to further prove that as we keep going. I got to keep going because I got a lot more to cover. So let's go to 2nd Esdras. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, we're going to get verses 54 and 55. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest the Lord of all creatures, of him come we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. Now, why, Marcus G? Why would you pull this? Well, this proves that the Most High chose a certain people. It further substantiates the envy towards that certain people, as it is his direct brother, Esau's despising of Jacob. And why? It then goes into some of the reason why this hatred, Esau has this hatred for the Most High, because it literally says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou made the world for our sakes, for Israel's sakes. Verse 56, as for the other people, which also come of Adam, not no damn Big Bang Theory, thou hast said, or not from the goddamn evolution from a monkey. Let me include that. Because they'll say the Big Bang Theory was the creation of Earth, but the man was an evolution from a creature. Now, I will not tell you that in the Bible, man is not referred to as a creature. But in the Bible, it very plainly shows when man was created, and it was not from an evolution of a damn monkey. But hey, Esau and Edom, boy, Idumea, what would they look straight into the sky at the Most High and say his ass came from? Oh, I'm an evolution of the damn monkey. You didn't create me. Total disrespect and disregard. Blasphemy. Some of the same blasphemies the Most High said. I've heard them. I have heard them all. He's reiterated it over and over. Oh, I've heard them. I have heard them all. As for the other people which also came down, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto the drop that falleth from a vessel. Every other biblical nation, I don't care if it is Ishmael, I don't care if it's Ammon, Moab, Canaan, Ham, I don't care if it's Edom, I don't care if it's any of the tribes of such as Amalek, spittle. This is the Bible that says this. It's not me that's saying this. I was not Ezra. I did not write second Esdras. These things were not revealed to me as they were revealed to Ezra. But we're going to revisit some other stuff that that was revealed at Ezra a little later. But I wanted to substantiate so that it wouldn't be a claim. It's not just a claim that Esau was envious and hatred, not only towards his brother, but also towards the Most High. As well as just let the Bible say how the Most High feels about all these other nations, including the nation we're speaking of today, Esau and Edom. Okay, so from there, I want to go to Daniel 7. So now we're going to start looking at some things that were revealed, revelations to some of the prophets, right? In Daniel 2, you can read about this creature that has a head of gold, and this statue that has a head of gold, and this and the that and the that. It's got 4 different parts, right? 4 different parts. But it gets crushed by a rock, right? Now, each of those parts are different kingdoms. We're going to get into them because a number of those kingdoms are going to show dominion, of certain people. And remember, I told you, they were dominion from way back in Genesis, right? So let's go to Daniel chapter 7, and we're going to start at verse 3. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from the other. Now, these beasts are actually kingdoms. These are actually kingdoms, okay? So let's go to verse 4. Let's read about this first kingdom. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings, therefore, were plucked off, and it was lifted from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. That first kingdom is the kingdom of Babylon. That's what that first beast was. The kingdom of Babylon. What were those people in that kingdom of Babylon? What was the biblical nationality of the people that made Babylon, that made up that kingdom of Babylon? Now, these are some questions I'm going to ask you. I want you to do some research on them. I know who they are, but for the sake of time, I can't really just get into it. I'm going to get into some of them, but this one in particular, Babylon, I'm going to ask about all of them in actuality. This one, what biblical nationality made up the kingdom of Babylon? And when I'm saying Babylon, I'm saying the ancient Babylon. Right? Verse 5, and behold, another beast, a second like a bear. Now, a bear of any animal would be able to take down a lion. Because what you're about to see is that transition of dominion, that transition of a kingdom's dominion from one to another. So this bear comes about and slays the lion. And it raised up itself on one side. Now, this bear, what kingdom was this? This was the Persians and the Medes. This was the dominion of the kingdom of the Persian and the Medes. And right here where you're saying it raised itself up on one side is because the Persian side of this conglomerate was the stronger of the two. But it took the both of them to take down that lion, to take down Babylon. And it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said, thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Now let's look at these 3 ribs. What were these 3 ribs? These 3 ribs were the 3 major kingdoms which the Persians and the Medes had gotten from Babylon, those being Egypt, Babylon, and Lydia. All this is in the script. I mean, this is, of course, you do have to do some historical research, but it's right here in the scripture. Right here in the scripture. Let's go and let's read about this next beast. After this, I beheld, and lo, another beast, like a leopard. Here comes a new kingdom. Comes a new kingdom. Oh, first I want to ask, remember, the Persians and the Medes. It was two different type of people who made up those two types of people. Now we know, well, I will tell you Babylon was Edomites, right? Edomites had dominion. The lion, they were termed the lion. The lion then gets slain by the bear, right? The bear being the Persians and the Medes, right? Or the second beast, right? So let's go and let's read about the third beast. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. This, my friends, is the kingdom of the Greeks. What walk of life, what biblical nationality were the Greeks? Before I go and look at that 4 heads, because I know it's probably people that's wondering, what is the 4 heads? What biblical nationality were the Greeks? Okay. Now let's address the 4 heads. These were the 4 generals that Alexander split his kingdom into when he died. Again, do not take my word for it. Do your own research. I will tell you this. I can't lie to you. I've repented for that. I would tell you there's no coincidence that it talks about these 4 heads and that Alexander the Greek, people refer to him as Alexander the Great. He was not a great man to me. Just say Alexander the Greek. He split his kingdom amongst his 4 generals. That's your 4 heads. That's the third beast. After this, I saw, again, this is Daniel's revelation, right? I'm asking again, for the sake of me saying, remember the word dominion, what biblical nationalities make up these kingdoms of rulership at their time? Okay. I want to go now. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible. Oh, this one was a little bit different than all the rest of them. And strong exceedingly. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. Stop. Take a highlighter. Highlight, stamped the residue with the feet of it. Keep that in mind. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Uh-oh. Oh. Remember, this beast has 10 horns. What kingdom had dominion? This was the Roman Empire. How is this Roman Empire different from all the others? Boy, this one had an army like no other. More bloodthirsty than any other. This beast, this was a beast of its own. This beast had, and you tell me if there's irony or coincidence in this, Israel. This beast has a senate in place. It's got legal systems, kind of like a place you might live in today. But this beast was different than all the others. There was no Senate with the Greeks. There's no Senate with the Persians and the Medes and the Babylonians. They didn't have all that. They didn't have the infrastructure like that of the Romans, right? But remember, Daniel said back in Daniel 2, these beasts were crushed by a stone. Believe it or not, that stone was another kingdom. But that stone was Yahweh Shah. I'm going to prove it. And it was the kingdom that Jacob was to rule. That is what he saw in Daniel 2. But let's go to Revelations 12. I meant to ask. I forgot to ask. What walk of life, what biblical nationality were the Romans? What biblical nationality were the Romans? Now, of all those beasts, one of them had two biblical nationalities, right? With the Persians and the Medes. Who had dominion when you look at all those kingdoms? And that was of old. Right? We still talking of old. As of today, again, in 6 of the 7 continents of the world, who has dominion? Because these are the same people, the same biblical nationality. You cannot get around this Bible. So we're going to go to Revelations 12. Revelations 12. There's no irony or coincidence that the thumbnail has all the way from a baby to a child, a man and a woman that then is portrayed as a dragon, a red dragon. There's no irony or coincidence that that's in the thumbnail. Again, that word red, that word Odawam, which the word Edom comes from, and the root word being dom, meaning blood, the color of blood, red, a red dragon, red people sold his birthright for red pottage. Hey, it's not been confusing at all. Not been confusing at all. Been the same everywhere we look. Let's go now. We're going to get Revelations 12 and 1. And we're not going to get all this. We're not going to get all this. We're going to start at verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun. Who is this woman? Now, again, you got to understand, this is a revelation to John. John the Baptist. Who is this woman? Who is this woman? This woman, you can read about this woman. Woman is Israel. You can read about her in Jeremiah 6 and 2. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go and get all the way into it. But this woman is Israel. This woman was clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Them 12 stars. Huh? Those are the 12 patriarchs. Those are the 12 tribes. Further proving who this woman is. And she being with child. Who is that child? Who is that child? The child is Yahweh. She being with child, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. So the child is Yahweh. She is pain to be, Israel is pain to be delivered by his deliverer Yahweh. And there appeared another one. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Wait a minute. Can we read about 10 horns back in Daniel 7? I said to remember that. I said to remember that. Having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. I'm going to stop right there. Because I told y'all to remember a couple of things, and I'm going to rehash on them. Okay. This red dragon, Esau, Edom, Idumea. What are these 7 heads? You got Rome, you have Spain, you have France, you have Germany, you have Russia, you have England, and from England came America. Has dominion of every place that I just mentioned to you, which make up those 7 heads. Let's see how true it is. Remember, when we were back in Daniel 7, I said, remember the stamped the residue or stomped the residue. I'm just going to look at a few of these 7 heads over history. And I want you to understand what stomp the residue means. That means they stomped over Israel. The residue was Israel. So let's look at Greece. They stomped the residue of Israel during the time of the Maccabees and in the 70 and in the AD during the time of Yahushua and the apostles. Did they not? This is one of those 7 heads. Further proof of who these people are. This red dragon, these red people. Let's look at Spain. Spain stomped the residue of Israel with the conquistador. Again, I'm going to do a lesson on the 12 tribe chart. The 12 tribe chart tells a lot about, or has a lot to do with the northern kingdom as well. Who makes up the northern kingdom? These are just things for you to think about when I get to that particular truth or thought. When I do it, I'm still compiling stuff. That's going to be a series. But the conquest of the conquistadors plays a role in that. Again, Spain and the conquistadors. My beloved brother Mike Malice did something about the 12 tribe chart. I'm going to see if y'all paid any attention. One of the 7 heads, France, stomped the residue of Israel when taking the Caribbean. I remember him talking about that. when conquering the Caribbean stopped the residue of Israel. And I can go on about the others. But again, for the sake of time, I want to move on. So I'm hoping that you all understand who Esau is. Esau has always been, will always be, this is never going to change, that red man. So based on the Bible, you are who your father is. If your father was a red man, a so-called Caucasian, again, the natives referred to them as pale face. If your father was who the world today will say is a white person, you are of Esau, Edom, Idumea, as Esau is Edom. All right? That's just point blank, period. I think I've gone through enough scripture about it. I think I've gone through enough of everything about it, even down to shit you do. The new term that has come about, Karen, that's some shit y'all have always done. Y'all always whine like little bitches. Whine and cried like little spoiled, pompous bitches. Your forefathers found out. You wouldn't be inheriting no kingdom, but when if you did make it to the kingdom, you would be subservient to your brother, to Israel. They didn't like that. They hated that. They made a religion. Fuck that. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. I'm gonna make me a religion, and my religion gonna say, just like that spoiled, pompous fucking kid that you've always been. My religion gonna say that I can go to the kingdom and everybody can go to the kingdom. Blasphemous. You have always had a hatred even towards the Most High. I'm gonna prove it to you. Now again, this is if you are of Idumea, or if you are of Esau or Edom, because it is imperative as time is drawing nigh that people understand and realize who the fuck they are, because there's about to become a time, we're coming up on a time for the return of Yahushua, who specifically came for one people. If you're not of that people, you may want to know what people you are of. But who you definitely want to know is if you are of that people. So Israel. I wish I was only sent for you. However, back when your forefather Jacob was born, so was his brother Esau, who has always envied Jacob, who has always hated Jacob, who has always hated the fact that the Most High has always seen favor in every shape, form, and fashion with Jacob. So he can't just hate just Jacob. He got to hate the Most High too. That's those blasphemies and things spoken against the Most High that the Most High spoke about back in Ezekiel. But I want to touch up on an account. I'm going to touch up on an account that, because a lot of Israel, you all were in Christianity. I want you to, and why you were not taught this? It's because they would be telling on themselves. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. It's the same reason I wasn't taught it when I was in Christianity. All right. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2. And this is the last thing I'm going to address for this particular truth for thought. But let's go to Matthew chapter 2. We're going to get verses 10 through 20. Now, this is in regards to Yahweh Shai, Mary and Joseph. All right. And it will pretty much tell itself to you as we begin to read. But I want you to remember this is in regards to those three. The deliverer. Remember when we read back in Revelation, the woman was about to give birth to this deliverer, and she was in pain to be delivered. Israel. That's all about you. Right? Again, you can substantiate that by going to Jeremiah 6:2, and you'll find out who that woman was. Just in case, that way you don't just go by some shit I say. You might as well be in the Christian church for that. Go read. Again, it is true. I can't lie to you. No. However, for the sake of time, I'm not going to actually cover it for you and for your particular knowledge. I implore you to go and read it. So let's start Matthew chapter 2, verse 10. When they saw the star, they rejoiced and exceeded great joy. Right? And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshiped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. I'm also going to, one of these days, I'm going to do a truth thought on the difference between a gift and a reward scripturally. Because there is a difference. A very significant difference. But they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense, and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. Wait a minute. Mary, Joseph, and Yahweh Shai, this is about them. But the Most High had already warned them not to return to Herod, who was the king at the time. And we're going to get some background on Herod further we go. Trust me. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt. And be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Okay? Remember all this that you're reading. Again, we're talking about the despised. This is just to substantiate the despise that Esau, Edom has towards the Most High. Right? Now, it was already prophesied that this child, Yahweh Shai, would be the deliverer for Israel, right? We're going to get some background onto Herod. I promise you. Let me just keep reading and get through this. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. So they go deeper into Canaan. And was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled that which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So what Herod has done, he sent people out to kill all Israelite children 2 years and younger in hopes that he will kill the deliverer of the chosen people of the Most High. Again, we're going to get some background into Herod, which is going to further substantiate that you, Esau, Edom, Idumea, has always despised even the Most High, hated him. Let me just keep reading because we just going to get down to verse 20. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy to the prophet, saying, in Ramah, where there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children. This is saying that they definitely was killing these children. Weeping for her children and would not be comforted because they are not. Remember that word comforted, because you can read about the comforters in Matthew as well. I'll say as well. And would not be comforted because they are not. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt. Again, there was a prophecy that was mentioned, which was to bring my child forth out of Egypt. You got to remember, we read that. Verse 15, out of Egypt have I called my son. That was up in verse 15. This is going to be where that happens, right? Verse 20, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel, which would mean he's calling his son up out of Egypt where they were, just like that prophecy was or said. For they are dead which sought the young child's life. Verse 21, and he rose and took the child and his mother, and they came into the land of Israel. So, now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because we're going to look at some other stuff real quick. And like I said, this is the last thing I'm going to be dealing with in regards to this particular truth for thought, okay? So, I'm going to share my screen right here. We're going to get some background information on Herod, the king of Judea. All right. Herod by name, Herod the Great, Latin Herodes Magnus. Born 73 BC, died April 4th BC, Jericho, Judea. Roman appointed king of Judea. Remember when we was talking about those kingdoms? What biblical nationality was that kingdom? Let me keep going. Who built many fortresses and aqueducts and theaters and other public buildings and generally raised the prosperity of his land, but who was the center of political and family intrigues in the later years. The New Testament portrays him as a tyrant into whose kingdom Jesus of Nazareth was born, or Yahweh. Herod was born in southern Palestine. His father, Antipater, was an Edomite. You are what your father is. What was Herod? Now, Herod wasn't just an Edomite, as you read here, because there's more I want to talk about. You see here, the world conveniently goes into a Semitic people, talking about Edom. Yes, Edom is of Shem. That is true. They are a Semitic people, identified by some scholars as Arabs. Here, though, where there's a misunderstanding of who, because that's Ishmael. That is Ishmael, who converted to Judaism. So not only was Herod an Edomite, this was an Edomite that knew of the customs of the Jews or of Israel. He knew about the Sabbath. The reason he sought to kill Yahweh is because he knew that he was to deliver the nation of Israel. He knew it. But let's not just stop there. Let's go. So Herod was an Edomite who was taught the customs of the Israelites, right? Right. Let's go here. Also known as Herod the Great, was a Roman Jewish. Didn't I tell y'all Amalek? Amalek is of Edom. Is it irony? Or is this irony or coincidence that this Edomite, which we just read, so for this further clarifies that Amalek is Edom as well. They are of Edom. This further clarifies that these Jewish people are Edomites. So when you go and you look at Esau, Edom, who are they? How do those people look? They are red, not ruddy. Every time you see the word ruddy in the Bible, it's in regards to beauty. It is not there because of the color red, which is why it literally says in Genesis the word red. It doesn't say ruddy. It literally says the word red, the red pottage. It didn't say the ruddy pottage when he sold his birthright. These are these same people, right? Referred to as the Herodian kingdom. He is known for his colossal building projects throughout Judea, including the renovation of the Second Temple in Jerusalem and the expansion of the Temple Mount towards its north. The enclosure around the cave of the patriarchs in Hebron, the construction of the port of Caesarea Maritim, the fortress of Masada and Herodium. Vital details of his life are recorded in the work of the 1st century CE Roman Jewish historian Josephus. So all of y'all that want to go and read these extra books, understand who these books are authored by. Herod also appears in the Christian Gospel of Matthew as the ruler of Judea who orders, look at this, the massacre of the innocents at the birth of Jesus. Remember that. What is the massacre of the innocents? It's also known as the Feast of the Innocents. Remember, I told you these Edomites, these Esau, these guys, the Idumean boy, they hate the Most High. Look at this. It's called the Feast of the Holy Innocents. The Feast of the Holy Innocents, also called the Chadurmas or Innocents' Day, Christian feast in remembrance of the massacre of the young children in Bethlehem by King Herod the Great in his attempt to kill the infant Jesus or Yahweh. Wait a minute, because I was part of Christianity, right? I'm going to tell you, this is every December the 28th. This is every December the 20th. I'm going to prove it. Let's keep reading. Western churches on December 28th, and in the Eastern churches on December the 29th. The slain children was regarded by the early church as the first martyrs, but it is uncertain when the day was first kept as a saint's day. It may have been celebrated with Epiphany, but the 5th century it was kept as a separate festival. In Rome, it was a day of fasting and mourning. Let's just do a little more research on this feast day that was ordained by man. This same man despised the Most High. In fact, went to try to kill his son, Yahweh, the deliverer of his chosen. This was a red man. This was Esau, this was Edom, this was Idumea. They've always despised the Most High and things that the Most High have created for its purpose. Yahweh had a purpose. They wanted to kill Yahweh. Edom, Esau did. As an infant. Not when he was supposed, the season when he was to, his body was to come to it. They tried to kill him early. Right? Why? They despised the Most High. They hated him all the way then. They hated him because he didn't get the blessing. His hatred and his envy, we read about that. It was one of a series of days known as the Feast of Foods and the last day of authority for boy bishops. Ooh, it sounds like this coming from, again, we read about it being in Rome, but from the mother of the harem, the Roman Catholic Church, the mother of the harem of all Christian denominations. When I was in Christianity, they didn't tell me about this, though. Did they tell you? If you are an Israelite or of Israelite descent, did they tell you about this? Let's keep reading. Parents temporarily abdicated authority. It convents and monasteries, the youngest nuns and monks were allowed to act as abbess and abbots for the day. These customs, which were thought to mock religion, were condemned by the Council of Basel, 1431. In medieval England, children were reminded of the fullness of the day by being whipped in bed in the morning. Their custom survived into the 17th century. But my question now is this done away with? Is this, you just read where supposedly it's done away with. Let's find out. Again, my beloved brother did a lesson on the 12 tribes charts. For those who don't believe that, or for those who don't have the understanding that Hispanics are part of the 12 tribes. I want you to explain this to me. The Day of Holy Innocents, Dia de los Santos Inocentes. That's in Spanish. Now, why would Hispanics also know about the day of. Why would in history Hispanic people might quite possibly know about the day of innocence? I don't speak Spanish fluently, but this looks like the day of the innocents. I know it is because you see it right here. Day of innocence. On December 28th, remembers the biblical history of King Herod's orders to execute male babies in Bethlehem in order to kill baby Jesus or Yahweh. Now, my question was, is this done away with? As we read back in the last, it said in the last article, it said this is done away with. Here goes some quick facts right here on the left. This year, it's Wednesday, December the 28th, 2022. That don't sound done away with. Next year, it will be Thursday, December the 28th, 2023. That doesn't sound done away with. It even recalls last year, which was Tuesday, December the 28th, 2021. Does that sound done away with? This tradition, which is deemed a holy day by the red people. About the day of holy innocence. According to the Christian Bible, King Herod ordered for all boys in Bethlehem who were 2 years and under to be executed in an attempt to kill Jesus out of despise for the Most High and his son. However, an angel warned Jesus' parents and they fled to safety in Egypt. Some believe the children who were killed were the first Christian martyrs. Today, the Feast of Holy Innocents is celebrated in churches worldwide. That is not done away with. Look at all these dates, and all these dates of past and dates to come. Did you know about this, Israel? If you were in Christianity, when you were in Christianity, did you know about this? If you didn't, my question is why? I say to you again, they'd be telling on themselves. The red devil would be telling on himself. And it would further substantiate everything that's written scripturally about who Esau and Edom is. So with that, Israel, I hope this motivates you to read more so that you will know, because there is more substantial evidence all throughout the scriptures. For the sake of time, I'm going to stop here. But I'm going to give a summation. Esau, Edom, Idumea. Who are they? They were, are, always will be a red man. A man who shows forth his blood because he has no melanin. It will always, has always been, will always be, is currently what the world calls a Caucasian or a white person. That's what they refer to themselves as. That's what they would like the world to refer to them as it pushes it further away from the truth of what they really are. what would be more correct. If we're going to use any color, it's going to be a red person, not white person, but red person. No, those are not white people. Those are red people. Okay. Who are they? They are a people that have always had a hatred and an envy for their brother, Jacob, whose name was later turned to Israel, who had 12 sons, who are the 12 patriarchs. They have always hated and envied them. They have always hated and envied the way they have been viewed by the Most High. And because of that, they have always hated the Most High, which is why in Psalms 83, the very first enemy that is mentioned of the Most High is the tabernacles of Edom. You just cannot get around it. And Edom, Esau, Idumea, yes. For a long time, you knew who we were when so many of us didn't know who we were. But boy, oh boy, now not only do we know who we are, but looky, we know who you are. I did this truth for thought in hopes that there was no stone left unturned. Again, I could have gone more in depth over the 7 heads when we were in Revelation, right? And showed how they stomped off the residue of Israel as it was mentioned back in Daniel. I could have gone through each of the 7. Hell, here in America, which was from England, one of the 7 heads. You can just take the slavery that happened here. That's one more of the 7. But I implore you again, just take my word for it. Again, I cannot lie to you. Simply do the research. See if the Bible lies, or see the lies you've been told because of the truth that's in the Bible. You were in Christian. Let's say you were in Christianity. Did you know that you celebrated the killing as a feast day? And this is still going on. This Thanksgiving. You don't know what Thanksgiving is all about. It's all encompassed in the killing of a certain biblical nationality. It is a mock to the Most High. Now, where is it written? Here we are to keep Thanksgiving. Yet Esau came up with yet another traditional holiday. They called it Thanksgiving, just like they came up with one known as the Day of the Innocents, where they commemorated and celebrated the killing of all young males 2 years old and younger that were of Israelite descent. That's who these people are. That's who Edom, Esau, Idumea, who the fuck you are. And that will never change. So with that, Israel, I bid you Shabbat Shalom. I hope that this really, really drove home for you. Because again, like I said, the Day of the Innocents is further proof that they are those people. I mean, what biblical nationality founded the Roman Catholic Church? In fact, that's one of the biblical nationalities, because at that time, it was one of those kingdoms. The Roman Empire, when they had dominion. But now, there is another scripture that I could go into that substantiates that Daniel saw, where it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning. What that means is that rock that hit that statue, which was Yahweh, the deliverer for Jacob, once these dominions are done, then becomes the new dominion, the dominion that is led by Yahweh, in which Jacob has dominion in that kingdom. You can read that in Sirach. Read that in Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. So I'm hoping that this gives a full understanding as to who Esau or Edom is. And with that, Israel, it's your brother Marcus G. Be it the Most High will, till next time, I bid you Shalom. It's your brother Marcus G, and I'm out.